welcome to one of the Elite Sports Debate podcast, featuring myself, Johnny, who will also be referred probably on this podcast to Johnson or maybe perhaps Kingy at times, but we'll come on to why. And my wonderful co-host, who will be mainly referred to as Chesney. He's called Joseph really, but no one ever calls him that. It's because he basically looks like Chesney of Coronation Street. But we'll gloss over that. So how's it going, Ches?
Yeah, all good, all good. Absolutely hating the fact that the Premier League season is finished. Eagerly anticipating the start of the Premier League season. All these people saying that it's been a long one. I've enjoyed every second. And
Same. Yeah, I miss it.
Yeah.
And part of one of the not the only reason. One of the reasons why we're doing this is we're bored and we're trying to fill the void. So we miss it that much. So just a brief intro of what we're going to do. We're going to just talk sport basically for weeks. We do roughly one a week. We'll cover loads of different sports. We're specialised mostly in football. I think it's hard not to do that in especially in the UK where it's just football crazy. So it's going to probably specialise mostly in that. But we'll talk about loads of other sports. Ches is very good at boxing, MMA. I like my racing. We're both golfers. So that kind of leads me nicely into a bit of an intro. So as I mentioned already, just really quick, I won't bore you to tears with this. My name's Johnny. I'm a professional golfer, so PGA Pro. So my job is golf. It's teaching golf and it's playing the odd bit of golf. So it's playing the odd tournament, nothing massive, just local Sussex region professional events, which I absolutely love doing. I love my job. I love golf. So very lucky. I'm a very, very, very happy Brighton season ticket holder, as you can probably see from the smile on my face. So absolutely thrilled. We'll come on to that, but big Brighton fan, season ticket holder. Can't wait for next year, as you can probably imagine. And I think that's about it. So we'll obviously talk a lot about golf. Me and Ches met at uni, where we were both studying golf at uni. Yes, you can study golf at uni. So golf is obviously pretty big for us, and we both love our football. And I don't think I've missed anything. I'll pass you over to Ches, and he'll give you a quick intro on himself.
Yeah, so my name's Joe, or Ches. It's going to be Ches. We met at university. I went to uni to go to uni, not really to do a thing in particular. I knew it was sport. Quite quickly, I knew it was definitely not golf I wanted to do. So I actually went straight on to do another degree. So and I'm a physio. So I have my role is I'm split. So work for the National Health, which is in the UK, which is the treating everyone, and then I also work in football. So I work in the academy at Manchester United. I'm a Liverpool fan. That's weird, isn't it? I've loved every minute working there, by the way, because I've just took the stick out of everyone, because I've being a Liverpool fan for the last 6 years has been fun. The last 12 months, I think not so much. But anyway, it is what it is. Golf, yeah. I love playing golf, watch the majors, try to keep up to date with the PGA Tour, and stuff like that. And then really my other love is fight sports. So as Johnny said, boxing and MMA. I really try and keep up to date with that, and love the ongoing drama that is fight sports that goes on. I think that's where our focus is going to be within the podcast. But mainly it's going to be football based.
Yeah, no, definitely perfect. I think that was a perfect little preview. Just really quickly as well, we both absolutely love fantasy football, but we're not going to do it loads on it. We may mention it now and again just because we can't help ourselves. But we've got another channel that we're starting called FPL Weekly. So keep an eye on that. We're doing again FPL Weekly. We're doing one a week on that, just kind of short episodes, but something we both love. But that will be on a different channel. Like I say, we'll mention it briefly. But if you want more FPL stuff, then we have a channel dedicated to that. So this, again, like I say, it's mostly going to be complete sports chat. It's going to be current affairs in sports, what's going on in the world of sports, mostly football. I'm going to focus a lot on. I'm not going to bore you to tears with it, but I'm going to be talking more Brighton. Chez is going to be talking more Liverpool. I think that's pretty normal.
So the first topic, Philip Schofield. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, how our podcast ended before it even started.
Yeah, Philip Schofield.
I think let's should we try to avoid
Yeah.
that one, Jess?
Let's avoid that
Perfect.
one.
I
Yeah,
think that'd be a great idea. We don't mind
Right.
being controversial. I'm more than happy to be controversial on this pod. We're going to tell us exactly how we feel. Don't mind a little bit of swearing, but we're not gonna go down the political route. Definitely not.
I think it's
So,
nailed on. He's
yeah,
nailed.
Yeah.
He's a nailed on nonce, isn't he?
I'm going to gloss over that, and we're going to swiftly. I'm avoiding that.
Perfect.
So,
by the way, do you want a little bit of news? The word nonce. Do you know where it comes from? No? Okay. They used to write it on the door of the when you were in prison, not on normal court activities.
Wow. Didn't know that.
So then they wouldn't let them out at the same time because the prisoners had killed them because they're nonces. So actually, when you refer to someone as a nonce, that's what they used to do in prison. So yeah.
Well,
There you go.
Let's
move on.
But as you can see with this pod, this is what it's going to be like. It's going to be very not planned. We're just going to rabble on about sports and other stuff, and we don't really care. So we're not going to be politically correct on this channel. So if you want that, I suggest you stop listening now. So we're going to start with a season review because obviously, like I said, it's off season now. And there's not loads of kind of current stuff going on really. So I think it's definitely important that we start with the season review before we obviously start leading into season previews, which obviously we will do. We're going to go through every team in alphabetical order, not hugely detailed, but we're going to briefly go over them and we're going to give their season, going to quickly talk about the club and then going to give their season a ranking, A star, C plus, C minus, blah, blah, blah. I think let's get into it, mate.
Yeah, perfect. So I think we're going to start off with, in alphabetical order, it's Arsenal.
Okay.
And I think, right, I'll do one, you do one. Yeah, right. Yep. So Arsenal, pre-season, I had them finishing, just missing out on the top four again. That's how I had them down. Maybe edging towards it. I thought Jesus, I thought Zinchenko were really shrewd signings, and Saliba felt like a new signing back to them, and so that was going into it. But I still felt that they didn't have enough. Like that midfield for me was never going to do it. Partey too injury prone, Xhaka nutcase. So I really felt that was going to be a bit of a breaking point. So. And then for them to achieve what they've achieved, I think it's an A season. Not an A star, but it's an A season because they've comfortably got top four. Comfortably. They have... you offer them at the start of the season, second, they snap your hands off. However, they were in a position where they were in control. That was the issue. They were in control. As a Liverpool fan, I've experienced it before. And as in the Suarez and Gerrard year. And then, so I've felt that heartbreak. But actually, would you say it's heartbreak? Like, City won at a bit of a canter in the end. So
yeah, it's funny, isn't it? It's funny.
I felt like the heartbreak. The heartbreak happened in March, April. Whereas
Southampton at home, Liverpool away.
Yeah.
That period, wasn't it?
So
West Ham.
So I don't feel like they should be heartbroken at the end of the season.
No,
I feel like they should just look back at it and just go, yeah, look, we had a really good run at it, and City was just too good. Full stop.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I pretty much agree, mate. I pretty much completely agree with you. I'm very mixed like you in that I had them, just quickly, I've got all my predictions up here from last year. I had them sixth. I think most people did. So yeah, clearly they've exceeded expectations. But you're right, it's that in control and that lead that they had, and it kind of felt like it's going to be their season. You know, you had the Nelson goals, like what the hell was that? And you had, I think it was, there was a last minute goal somewhere else, or the Jorginho, is it Villa Park? Jorginho scored
Maybe.
this freakish deflection in the last minute. I just had a feeling that there were moments you look at and go, this could be Arsenal's year. But I did always say to people that I still thought City were going to win it in the end. I think one of the reasons was Arsenal are a very, very good side, by the way. Very, very good side. We watched them at the Amex, didn't we? And they're a very, very good side. I don't think people should be giving them a huge amount of stick because they are very good. There's no doubt about that. And they had a fantastic season. I think the key thing in the end was the squad. They lost Saliba and they couldn't cope.
Yep.
City lose Diaz and they've got Akanji, they've got Ake, they've got Stones. You know, they've got so many options that could play there. Yeah, exactly. Laporte's not even getting a kick. He'd be straight into the Arsenal side. So, what let them down? You know, Saliba goes missing, who are players a player they didn't even have before. That yes, he's a good player, but they can't cope. They bring Kivior in or whoever, or they start playing White at centre back or whatever. Holding not good enough, and then they got found out. You can't miss one player and get found out. So I think squad depth wise, that's where City ended up winning the league. But yeah, look, I think Arsenal had a great season. I think they'll come top 4 next year. We'll come on to predictions at some point, but I think they're a good side, and I think we love giving Arsenal stick, don't we? Anyone that doesn't support Arsenal loves giving them a bit of stick. You know, Arsenal fan TV, we love jumping on the fact that Arsenal bottled it. I think it's a bit harsh. I think I would give them, similar to you, I'd probably give them an A minus, just based on where they were and how they really, I say should is the wrong word, but they definitely could have won it. And not only did they not, like you said, they had nothing to play for in the final game of the season. Even it went from Arsenal's hands to in 4 games, it's over. So they folded pretty tamely, unfortunately. But that's them. Good season. Would I be very upset if I was an Arsenal fan? No. Like you said, they came second. Would I take, this is funny, would I take that season every season if I was an Arsenal fan for the next 3 or 4? Probably.
So winning nothing, spending the money that they do, and have
a title run and come in second every year, realistically, financially, probably.
Okay.
Probably. Because you've got to take things for granted. I'm not taking the mick here, but look at Liverpool. You'd love second.
I mean, the thing is there's some people who are saying that, like, look how well Liverpool did. They finished second so many times as City. It's like, is this now an award, finishing second?
I know. The problem is they are that
City?
Good, aren't they?
I know.
They are that good. So I don't think there's any kind of defeat in losing to a City. You know, if it was someone else, if there's a different side that kind of caught them up and overtook them, maybe it's different. But City are probably the best team we've ever seen. So,
anyway, next, Aston Villa.
I'll start us off here. I'm happy to start us off here. Great season, unbelievable season. I had them 10th, so they exceeded expectations. Emery did an amazing job. He has to be in the top 5 managers this season. Has to be. He picked them up in, I don't know the exact position, but it was bottom half, wasn't it? 14th, 13th, 14th, something like that.
Way lower.
They were
way lower. Crazy. I think they were like 16th. I just where you're saying there, exceeded expectations. So just remind me, did you finish 8th?
They finished 7th because they got into Conference League.
Seven.
Getting into Europe is exceeding expectations.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. I thought they were 8th, but just look. I think if you take out the fact that they were at one point, they sacked the manager, they were struggling, take that out of it, then them finishing 7th is good. It's good.
Yeah.
It's not Arsenal good. I don't think it's just good. And for the size of their club, for the money that they spend, it's good. So, but it's just the fact that it feels so much better because
of where they were.
At one point, they were really struggling.
If you'd have said to them they're going to qualify for Europe at that point, you'd be like, you're off your nut. So
yeah.
And then he didn't sign anyone really. He just got the best out of his players. He got Watkins. He got rid of Ings. Got Watkins kind of playing on his own. He got the best out of players like McGinn's been outstanding. Douglas Luiz wasn't even a starter for a lot of the time under Gerrard, and he's been outstanding. He's got the best out of Mings. He's got the best out of a lot of players. Timo Moreno, he's looked very, very good. So yeah, he's got the best out of Buendia, who didn't really do much before that. So he's just done really well. He's got the best out of his players. He's done an unbelievable job. Would I go?
I'm giving them a B personally. I'm giving them a B
plus. I think I'll give them a B plus. I think it's a little bit better than what you're saying, but I can understand why you're saying it as well. Will they do well to keep hold of the manager? I think it's at that point. Yeah, I think they do well to keep him.
Wow,
I do.
Wow,
I do. I think he's a really good manager. I thought Arsenal may have sacked him a bit early, if I'm honest as well. So he's a good manager, mate. He's a good manager. He's done great at Villa. He did great things.
He just stinks out the house, doesn't he? Like I can't. Like I've not met. Like seriously. Like this. There should be a fanfare about Unai Emery, and there's not. No one's talking about it.
Yeah.
Like Arsenal fans, like he won a trophy there when times were terrible. Everyone hates him. So why does everyone hate him? It's almost similar to how the rest of the Premier League see Rafa Benitez. We see Rafa Benitez as Liverpool fans as really good. Everyone else, and Newcastle fans, whereas like Chelsea hated him, Everton understandably hated him, and and everyone else sees him as like a not a good choice. Whereas, Unai Emery clearly is a great manager, and actually, I didn't personally have his short-termism as a good thing. I thought he was more of a long-term manager, obviously with what he did at Seville. So, so it's really interesting to see that he got a short-term bounce. But yeah. So anyway.
Great season for you at B. I at B plus. I'd say as well, keep an eye on them, because what I mean by that, two reasons. One, they've got huge money, and some of the rumours I'm hearing about Asensio from Real Madrid is almost done. So by the sounds of it, so
and so's his career, mate.
Maybe. But what I'm saying is they've got a lot of money. Keep an eye on them. Look at where they were. Look at where they finished the season.
Yeah.
Could they come seventh again? Of course they could. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Next.
My team of the year, Bournemouth.
Yeah. I mean,
don't. Are you surprised Man City have won the league?
No.
That they won the FA Cup?
No.
Surprised they're in the final of the Champions League?
No.
Are you surprised Bournemouth have stayed in the Premier League?
Yes.
Team of the year. Done.
Am I more surprised that Brighton are playing in the Europa League next year? Yes.
No, Bournemouth. Team of the year.
Okay, fine. I'm probably going to be a bit biased, aren't I? They're bang up there.
A plus, mate. A plus.
Everyone had them relegated. I had them bottom. So about Gary O'Neill, he did an incredible job. They were pretty much gone. Everyone written them off. Everyone was saying, Bournemouth and two others. Everyone had completely written them off. And I spoke to a little bit this about Goodway on a previous pod, in that if he was called, Jose Mourinho or Marco Silva, maybe he'd be getting a bit more credit, because he's not an experienced manager, because he was an okay, pretty half-decent player. He's called Gary O'Neill. He just doesn't get the credit he deserves. Did an amazing job.
Yeah,
amazing job. And he has to be in the top 5 managers of the year. Has to be.
And apart from Billing, do you want the rest of the team is
who have they got?
unbelievably bad, so bad. I'm on board with saying A plus for me for Bournemouth, and I think I'd go A plus
as well. Yeah,
and I fully expect them to be that they, along with Luton, I feel that they're going to go down next year. So
Yeah.
If they exceed again, it's A plus. Like, it's that's the expectations and there. So Bournemouth,
Yeah, no, I
100%
agree.
credit,
A plus,
100%
amazing
credit.
season. The fact they stayed up as comfortably as they did, fair play Gary O'Neill. They have to keep him. Like you say, who are the players would you have?
By the way, if we're doing a podcast in September and I hear that Gary O'Neill has been sacked,
yeah, I'm going to be sick, and it's going to happen.
I'm just going to be spitting. I'm just going to be spitting.
And it's going to happen as well, isn't it?
Don't get me started. Anyway, right, move on. Brentford. I again.
They're up there in team of the season. Similar thing to Bournemouth.
But however, I am on board with saying they've had as good a year as Arsenal have.
Yeah.
They've really exceeded my expectations. I thought that they would have come close to relegation. I thought that the second season, I thought that teams would really kind of have worked them out a little bit, and it would have their buzz about playing in the Premier League would have potentially have gone. But I am happy to be proved wrong. Thomas Frank, yes,
amazing job.
Sign me up.
To be fair, it's tricky because
if Jurgen Klopp decide that this season was going to be his last season, and they lined up Thomas Frank from Brentford, I would be happy. I'd be happy with that.
I agree. I would say I'd actually probably have them on par with Bournemouth, based on the fact that I've got them to come 19th, and they've come 8th. They've missed out on Europe. No, they came 9th. They've missed out on Europe by 2 points. Europe. Brentford.
Yeah.
They missed out on Europe by 2 points. So I think the slight difference is, well, firstly, Brentford finished a lot higher than Bournemouth, but Brentford have got better players. They've not got loads. There's not loads I'd have. I mean, Tony helps them a lot. Bournemouth have a Solanke, but Tony's better than Solanke, obviously. So they have a couple of players, and then Bumo I like a lot, by the way. I'll keep an eye out for him next season. But unbelievable. If you're a Brentford fan, you've got to be over the moon.
Yeah,
everyone had them to go down.
I've got them as an A, mate. I've got them as an A, not an A plus.
I'm going to put them an A plus. That's my opinion. Could they possibly have hoped for a better season? No. Everyone predicted them to come 19th, and they finished 2 points off Europe.
Yeah, I'm on board with that. I feel like we got our predictions wrong.
Of course, but they said everyone.
No.
No one would have put Brentford 8th or 9th or whatever they finished.
8th or 9th, but there are worse. I think when I look back now, there are worse teams.
Yeah,
there are worse teams. But anyway,
right, let's move on.
Leave it to you, man.
Okay, I'll try and stay pretty calm here. Otherwise, I'm going to waste so much time on this. Absolutely incredible. Not in my wildest dreams that I think we'd come sick. The journey we've been on from nearly getting removed from the Football League to coming into the league, trying to stay in the league.
We're talking about this year, please. Talk about this year.
Mate. I'm trying so hard not to get carried away. Yeah, we came sick. I'm absolutely speechless. And we deserved it. Anyone that knows football knows that we deserve top 6. We played great football. Some of the talent we've got, I'll come on to that briefly as well in a second, but some of the talent we've got at the moment is scary. And it's not just 1 or 2, it's 6 or 7 seriously talented players that we're probably not going to be able to keep hold of because we're not a big club. We are an overachieving club, and it's incredible to do what we've done. I am very, very fortunate that it's just down the road, and going to be driving 20 minutes down the road to watch Europa League football, which is going to be incredible. I'm going to try desperately to go to a European game away. But yeah, what can I say? A plus. Anyone that doesn't think it's A plus is an idiot. Of course, it's A plus for Brighton. Like, and the recruitment is phenomenal. I think we're the only team to make a net profit in the Premier League in the last 4 years. So to continue making a net profit and finish sixth. By the way, the manager is unreal as well.
Yeah.
The amount of every team we've talked about so far, I've said top 5 managers this season. Like, there's been a lot of good. We're obviously going to come on to teams that were poor, but there's been so many standout managers this season. I think that we've already mentioned. De Zerbi's one of them. Really quickly, when Potter left, I was pretty heartbroken. It wasn't just a manager getting sacked; it was the culture of the club. It was everything that he'd built. He took our goalkeeping coach, was very well regarded, Ben Roberts. Bruno is a complete and utter club legend. He took him with him. So I felt like the soul was ripped out of the club. And I was like, oh my God, this is huge. And I thought we'd be going down and getting relegated or being very close to being a relegation side again. If you'd have said to me that we'd hire someone called De Zerbi and we'd improve, I'd have said you're off your nut. And we have improved. And I can't remember if it was you I said this to or not. I can't remember. But I said to someone, De Zerbi's much better than Potter. And they were like, you're off your nut initially. And I'm like, you can't argue with that now. You can't.
No.
Potter's a great manager. I still have faith in him. I still think he'll do a good job somewhere. But he's linked with Palace, by the way, which is quite funny. But you can't. Would he have come sixth? I don't think he would. No. De Zerbi's done an incredible job. And like Pep, have you seen Pep's comments about him saying, "Oh, he's revolutionary" and stuff like that? And he's right. He's right. He's the modern. It's kind of the modern football way. We've brought in this modern style that if you'd have done this 10 years ago, people would think you're a lunatic the way we play out from the back. So, no, amazing season, great players. Really quickly, it is a huge summer for us in terms of keeping De Zerbi. Looks like we will, but to do very well to keep him. Keeping our recruitment staff because they're probably the best in the league. I'd say you can't argue with that. The amount of players we'd sign for 5-8 million that are now worth 60 is frightening. More importantly, keeping our players. I'm not stupid. We're going to lose at least 1, 2, maybe 3. I just hope we don't sell loads because there's, that we could get a big offer for Ferguson. We could get a big offer for Caicedo. McAllister's already gone to you guys by the sounds of it. So, personally, I would love to just sell McAllister, take the 60 million or whatever it is. We've still got money from Cucurella, Ben White, Trossard, Bissouma. We've still got money there that we haven't spent really. So take the money from McAllister, build a bit more of a squad. Obviously, replace him with a central midfielder. I'd love a Ward-Prowse, etc. But we'll have to see how that goes. And that's it. I just don't want us to sell Ferguson, Caicedo, and McAllister because we can't keep selling our best players and getting away with it.
Okay, I want to come in there from you talking about Brighton and doing everyone's head in. So I personally, A+. Wow. And there's not many of them. A little bit of a spoiler. I've not yet given Man City an A+. Because as I alluded to before, everything they've done so far has been expected. So it's Brian, unbelievable. The part where I kind of think that you're talking about them working as a great profit, the only person that's benefiting is Tony Bloom.
Yeah.
Full stop. End of story. It's not benefiting you as fans because you're still paying your 600-700 quid a year to watch football. And would you prefer to be watching Caicedo? Would you prefer to be watching McAllister? Of course you would. So them selling all of their best players isn't going to benefit you guys. It's just going to benefit his pockets. But however, hindsight, Bissouma going, Caicedo coming in. Wow. Would you have, Bissouma?
I love Bissouma. You know how much I love Bissouma. I was gutted when he went. We kind of had to because he's only had a year left. So we actually sold cheap, I thought, at 35 million, but obviously he's done nothing. Spurs. He hasn't really had a run, but I'd have him back in a heartbeat.
Yeah. So, but anyhow, I think it should come with a warning, though. I think that this year, this A+, because we would have given A+ to Southampton. We would have been given A+ to Burnley. We would have been given A+ to Liverpool. And if you rest on your laurels, then I worry that the fixture congestion next year could affect a
That's a good
very
point.
small and regardless of how good a manager it is, if you've got an away match at Aston Villa and you've got a home match against Chelsea, and smack bang in the middle of them on a Thursday night you're going to Azerbaijan, then I don't think you're getting many points from those two Premier League games.
No, I can understand that. That's why we need to focus on a bigger squad. We need a squad. We're doing Europa League. We're trying to compete in cup competitions and Premier League. We need a bigger squad. And a lot of the time it does affect clubs. Look at West Ham. I think it's quite a good example. So, yeah, I'm not taking it for granted. Like I say, we've overachieved massively this year. I'd be staggered if we came in Europe again next year. Staggered. But at the same time, I get the Southampton thing. I really do get the comparisons. But I think, and don't get me wrong, that was over time. I'm probably going to be biased now. I feel like there's going to be 3 worse teams in the league than us for the next 5 years, at least.
Oh, 5. Definitely short term, 3. I'd say next 3 years, definitely. 5 becomes a little bit dodgy, but
it depends how our recruitment staff, if they can keep going, if they can keep picking up these gems. If they can,
I'm happy
we'll be fine.
Well, that's just not going to happen. That's just not going to happen. Football does not work that way.
No, I agree, but it keeps happening a lot. And Ciso, no one's ever heard of him. Got the goal of the season. Scored loads of great goals at the end of the season.
Yeah, I know. But you were banging on about Undav at the start of the year, and I had to meet you a couple of times from that chat. So it was, so
finished the season well.
Yeah, well, because he was on the bench.
We need to move on.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. But
we do.
I reckon we'll come 10th next year, and that'll be great. I'll be happy with that.
Speaking of 10th, Chelsea. I think they finished 12th. Where did they finish? 12th, 13th?
They finished 12th. How far down does the scale go? Are we going as far as you or?
Yeah, no, it is you, because we have great experiences of use in studying. So
has to be
unclassified is the only way that you can regulate their season. And honestly, I would absolutely despise being a Chelsea fan. Despise it.
I would despise Todd Bowley a lot. Yeah.
Oh man, I don't think I'd despise. I think I'd just despise everything that they stand for. Like, what are Chelsea?
Yeah.
What are they?
I know.
They do they want to be Harlem Globetrotters, or is it a complete business model where they're just going to buy all these players in and sell them? But
do you think they'll come top 4 next year?
Should they come top 4? Yeah, they should.
They should.
But loads needs to change. Someone needs to rip up Todd Bowley's season ticket and rip up his passport and tell him to just, yes, what you've done is you've bought the club. Full stop. End of story. Don't have anything to do with it.
Yeah.
And I just don't get how and why he thinks that he can have anything to do with it. What credentials does he have to say that he has any input? I think it's mental. I think it's absolutely mental.
They're bought so badly as well, mate. They're bought so badly. Enzo's a good player, but they overpaid hugely. Mudryk, I've seen nothing, absolutely nothing from him so far. I know he's young, but I've seen nothing. They're bought so badly.
10 minutes against Liverpool in his debut.
Oh, he looks so average.
At the time, Liverpool's defence, and in particular Trent, was. I don't even know what he was doing defensively, and I still don't think he knows what he was doing defensively. So I don't really hold that for great credit. Mudryk, I feel like will come good. Enzo, I feel like will come good. But Koulibaly, terrible. Cucurella.
Yeah.
And I'm going to stand here and say I've been to quite a few Brighton matches, and I did do last year. Your Cucurella was fabulous. Fabulous
Player of the
player.
season, yeah. He was great for us.
Fabulous. So good. But he's limited. He's a
He's not the same
limited player. He's a limited player. Can he play Champions League football? Clearly not. So anyway. And by the way, how you can sign all them players and not sign a striker is beyond me. So
they did for David Fofana, and they don't play him.
No, actually they did. He's called Romelu Lukaku, and he's currently in the Champions League final.
Madness. And they've got this Nkunku on the way, haven't they, from Leipzig? They signed him in January, a pre-contract, didn't they? So he's coming.
But,
honestly, Havertz, don't rate him at all. Felix at the end of the season was dire. Aubameyang is gone. They just had so many bad performances.
Sterling,
awful this season, just awful. Then they've had injuries to Chilwell and James. Fofana's been okay, but he's so expensive.
How badly did they manage James? How badly did they manage Chilwell? Awful. Every single time they brought him back, he was breaking down. But don't worry, Todd Bowley sacked the whole medical department. It's just
it's shambles.
Because does he think it's right? Or maybe Reece James has been managed so badly because there's potentially, I don't know, inexperienced staff there, or a team that's been thrown together that hasn't worked together for, it's just a completely new team. So, I just, and I feel that the person who I feel for in all of this is Potter. I really feel for him. I felt like he took a job he couldn't refuse, like Lampard did a couple of years before. And I don't know why anyone would take the Chelsea job apart from the cash.
Yeah, it's an opportunity, isn't it? It's a big club and it's an opportunity, I guess. But they should have maybe given him a bit more time.
Do you know which way it's going to end?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I know already. And
who
am I?
I still think there's a manager there. I still think, I'm a little bit surprised Tottenham didn't go for him. I don't think he'd do a terrible job there.
I think it's just, I think it's just damaged goods, isn't it? Tottenham. I cannot carry on taking Chelsea's ex-managers off them. They just can't.
Yeah.
But don't worry, we'll come on to Tottenham soon.
He'll get a Premier League job, Potter, somewhere. I mean, he's linked with Palace, which would be hilarious. But he'll go somewhere.
Choice.
I think he'll do a
good
good
choice. Because the next club, Palace, I'm going to give them a C.
I think you're about right.
I think they finished exactly where I think that they should. The biggest issue, well, not the biggest issue, but my biggest complaint is it should be Patrick Vieira still managing that team, and this isn't anything against Roy Hodgson, by the way, because I think all he's done a good job, but I just don't know what they've gained necessarily from having him.
Yeah,
I think Vieira was doing a decent job. He was doing a decent job. I still think I would have been giving him a similar grade. So,
but it's funny how managers change. I remember at the start of the season, everyone was like, "Oh, we're doing so well. We got Vieira. Do well to keep hold of him." And his stock was so high. And then it's amazing how you just lose a few games, and then bang, you go from a very exciting, good young manager to in the mud in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
interesting to see who they get, because they look like they're looking for a new manager. So.
Yeah, I think they've got some really exciting players, by the way.
They've got some exciting young players. Eze, Elise, Guehi. They've got some talent in there. Zaha's an interesting one. See what happens to him. But I particularly like them, obviously, because of who I support. But I'm still going to be, very neutral about them. I just think they're a mid-table club, and I think that's what they are. I don't think. We've had an amazing season, but do I think that they can have the season we had this year? I don't really. They're just going to come 11th or 12th. And if they have a bad season, they'll be in a relegation battle. If it's a good season, they'll come 9th.
Yeah.
But that's fine. That's what they are. I hate using the word established because no one's established, but they're almost established Premier League club. They weren't far off this year. I feel like they always just about have enough. They have enough quality to keep them above it. So I agree with you.
Everton, I'm going to start. Right? No. Seriously, bear with me. Right?
Yeah.
C plus.
Ooh.
Yeah. Wow. And do you know why?
Because they stayed in the league. That's why.
No. And this is not me having it. This is me saying it about the first team people, the people involved in the first team. The club, I'll give them a U. Give the club a U. Yeah?
Yeah.
The first team, okay, they signed Neil Mopeg. They signed Idrissa Gueye, Jimmy Garner.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
They avoided relegation by the skin of their teeth last year. You sell Richarlison, your best player, and replace him with Neil Mopey, Idrissa Gueye, and Jimmy Garner, and you expect there to be anything different?
No.
So
yeah, the issue was that the money they spent the year before that was extortionate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So therefore, are we grading them this year? So we grade them this year on.
I know what you mean.
On what they've done this year from the first team. The club, I've just ran it in the from kind of 2014 onwards, just horrendously. Yeah. However, if we're grading them this year, they've avoided relegation. They've of which, last year it was the skin of the teeth, last game of the season. And yes, they've done it again, but is this now Everton?
Yeah.
And by the way,
they're getting left behind. They're getting a bit left behind, aren't they? I think
massively left behind because of all this stuff with money and financial fair play. So I think there's worrying times ahead. I think that the manager is perfect. I think that they need to stop pretending. By the way, all through the years, so youth football, you go and play Everton and it's horrible. They make it horrible. The teams are really up for it. The players are so physical. The players are so up at it, ratty. They play the game so well from that point of view. And then you go and watch the first team and they're trying to pass it round. Well, that's not Everton. The way I see Everton is ratty, in your face, work really hard, gonna try and do anything and everything to get a 1-0, 2-1 win. That's what Everton need to be. That is the club. That is the DNA of the club. Unfortunately, well, I think it's unfortunate. But if that's the DNA of the club and they're in the Premier League, then are they happy with that? If they're not happy, then they should continue with with trying to get those managers who play out. But accept that you're going to go down to the Championship at some point because it's going to happen.
Ultimately, the game that kept them up was the Amex.
Yeah, 5-1. Wow.
I was there. It was insane. Absolutely insane. They just counter-attacked us, and every time they ran forward, they scored. It was a freak game. We proved that when we went to Arsenal and won 3-0. But that summed up our season. The belief we have in the squad to lose 5-1 at home against Everton and then go to Arsenal and win 3-0. So, but it was just a freak result. I could see it when I was there. Everyone was like, "What the hell happened?" It's like we had better stats. They won 5-1. It happens. So, but anyway, ultimately that result kept them in the league. So, yeah, I agree. I go a little bit less and maybe go C-, but I can understand the point you're trying to make.
When I've made the point, you're now on board with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I think you would have said D at the start.
17 is the same as 11 to 10, really. They're staying in the league, and that's the most important thing. So.
I mean, Everton fans would say that they would much prefer 11th than 17th.
From a stress point of view, from a factual point of view, barring the odd few quid here or there, but does it make a difference where Palace finished and where Everton finished? Not really.
Decore, by the way, is a player.
He came good.
They've got to build their team around him. He
came good. He was good at the Amex, and he came good. Yeah, and he scored that crucial goal. Okay, next.
Yeah. Fulham. C.
Great season. C.
Yeah.
You're off your
C.
nut, mate. You're off your nut. Adam going down. Adam 18.
Wow, really?
Yeah, they don't just come up the year before. They've got Mitrovic.
Striker. We've got a striker.
At the start of the season, who else did they have?
Striker. Full stop. They have a striker. Pereira's a good
Oh.
player.
Yeah, Pereira is a good player, but he's not a great player. Before this season, this is predicting before this season. We now know he's a pretty good player. What did we think before this season? That he was an okay player. Fulham have done wonders. Wonders. C. No, I'm not going to. Nah, I would go A-. Mate, if you're a Fulham fan, you're over the moon. You're absolutely over the moon with that.
You just told me that 11th is the same as 17th.
They were top half. 11th isn't the same as 10th.
10th.
I quite out that nicely, didn't I? Hey, 10th. You'd have said 10th to Fulham fans.
Okay. Maybe B-.
Maybe okay, fine. Maybe B+. But you get the point. You know, and they didn't have Mitro for 8 games. By the way, we always touch upon FPL. I'm definitely keeping an eye on him next year because his minutes to goals ratio is pretty good. Yeah,
right.
Not much to say apart from great season. We can move on.
Yeah. Leeds. I'm made up with Don. Don't know about you. Made up.
I'm not too fast. Not that fast, mate, to be honest. They're a strange one, aren't they, in terms of... You're probably going to disagree with this. I'd have kept Jesse Marsh.
Oh, my God.
I think Jesse Marsh may have kept them in the league.
I can categorically guarantee Jesse Marsh would not have let them get them in the league.
Javi Gracia didn't do a better job. Sam Allardyce did a better job.
I mean, no. I mean, what were they taking to get Javi Garcia?
Terrible appointment. Terrible. That appointment cost them, really. If they'd have made a better appointment at that time, then they may have stayed in the league.
I just don't think that. I'm almost tempted to grade them like a C-, a D anyway, because I fully expected them to go down. Like, I thought Jesse Marsh was terrible anyway. So who do they have? Who do they have? Who is in their team?
I went them to just stay up. I think most people had them to just stay up. I had them 16th. You had them 16th. So I think most people had them just to stay up. So yeah, I'd have to go D something. They got relegated at the end of the day.
Oh yeah, no.
You'd have to go.
D something. But I didn't. They did exactly what I expected them to do. I think they just went about it in an absolutely crazy way. But
it was a bit wild with all the manager changes and stuff like that. It was a bit crazy, and even the Allardyce thing. It's like, I know Gracia's doing rubbish, but he's got 4 games.
Just accept your fate, guys.
Yeah,
accept your fate.
Yeah.
Okay. Leicester. Again.
Worse than Leeds.
Oh no! Oh wow! Leicester is an F, right?
Yeah.
However, comes with an asterisk. They were selling all of the players, and I remember when the obviously terrible accident that happened to the owner, and when the son is taking over, the son has a choice. He has a choice to either continue to pile money into a football club, which is a losing battle because you only win at football when you sell the club. You don't really win as you go along. So they had a choice, and he could either break even, as in not spend money, break even, or he could do it because it was his dad's thing. It was his dad's thing, so therefore he puts money into it. He clearly chose to break even. That's why he started stopping to sign players and was, and players like Schmeichel were leaving, and he left like the week before it started. Danny Ward
That
comes
was
in,
huge.
and
That was huge.
it was huge. It was huge. Like, I'm not saying Schmeichel was a great goalkeeper, but he's part of that defensive unit, and their defense was the worst in the league. So
you have to wonder about players like Tielemans as well that knew that they were going. I mean, he's good as a player there, but you don't want to be there.
By the way, he's linked with Liverpool. I want him so far. I don't want him anywhere near Liverpool.
I do think there's a player there, but I think when you know you're going, it's like as much as you say you'll try as hard as you can, you don't really care, do you? Really?
No,
not really.
No. So as I mentioned before, I work in football. I've been to Leicester's training ground multiple times. It is one of the best in the country. It's one of the best that we go to. It's like Teletubbyland. There's grass on the roof and all kinds. It's, I swear down, it is a travesty that training ground is in the Championship.
Yeah, I actually hope they come back. I'm not particularly happy they've gone. I hope they come back. But it's interesting because, like I say, Maddison's going to go. Tielemans is going to go. Is Vardy going to hang around? I don't know. Do players like Xhaka and Iheanacho want to hang around?
Vardy hung around when Arsenal came in for him.
Vardy could bang next season. To be fair,
yeah, true.
Vardy's going. Yeah. So if they there's the flash sale there for Farner, Chilwell,
I'd have Barnes. Out of all of them players, I'd have Barnes.
Villa, I wouldn't have with Villa. So
yeah. Anyway, right.
Yeah.
Liverpool.
Go on, take the floor.
B-.
Did you say B?
Minus.
B minus. B.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Carry on, but I'm going D something. So
really, wow.
You're a Champions League club, mate. You're a Champions League club. Of course you are.
I just kind of felt that this was coming at some point. Yeah. I think we started to work some stuff out at the end of the season, but our fixtures were a lot kinder. Do you know the reason why this season will be forgotten in 1 or 2 years? But there's one game and it won't be forgotten for a very, very, very long time.
That was amazing, wasn't
it? It's 7-0. Wow.
That's so funny.
And we've got that forever. So so this season we've got for 1 or 2 years, but we've got that result for forever. So maybe not C, maybe D. I just feel like it was coming, and when all the teams around you are spending so much money, Man United signing Casemiro, Anthony, hundreds of millions of quid like per player, and I think it's just the teams like Newcastle and Arsenal who've massively overachieved. But and I think we've
was a huge loss as well.
Massive.
Huge loss.
So look, I'm content. I think we need to go out and sign one of the best, if not the best, right backs in the world and move Trent to midfield, like I've said for years. He's the most creative player in the league, second most behind De Bruyne. And we just need to give him the ball. Give your best players the ball, and he then can focus on creating and going forward, than constantly worried about positioning and being at the back. So it's moving to midfield, get him on that football, and get that team ticking, and give him the armband ASAP. It is. I think Henderson has potentially. I love him, by the way. Love him, but if we get someone coming in for him, then him leaving wouldn't be a bad thing. I don't think.
Has he got a year left?
I don't know. 1 year too many.
Probably
in my
have
opinion.
a year left. Yeah, you might sell him, because McAllister looks like he's coming in. So yeah.
But I just feel like that midfield needs some physicality if it's going to be McAllister. So say it's Trent, McAllister, and Thiago. Well, it's just going to get overrun by Rodri, the globetrotters that are City. So
Yeah.
anyway, so yeah, I think what did you say? D something.
D, yeah, maybe D as just D. Yeah.
So yeah,
yeah.
C
It could have
minus.
been worse. It could have been worse. You did okay to finish in Europe from where you were. Like, you were in a bad way. So
Yeah,
you came flying at the end. I think you'll get top 4 next year. I do. Definitely.
Yeah.
So,
City. At the moment, I've got City as an A, and if next week goes the way that it does, it becomes the other A plus. They've only achieved everything that I expect them to. Do I expect them to win all 3? No. Therefore, that's the unexpected, right? And that's an A plus.
That's fair. Yeah, huge game. I think they'll do it. I think they deserve to do it. What I would say is I expect it as well because they're very good. But as I mentioned to you earlier, they haven't 100% purely and simply bought their success. Like I said, United spent more money, Chelsea spent more money. So it's not purely and simply, they just bought the league. Look, I get they bought their way up to the top, but they bought well. Haaland is an unbelievable signing. Akanji is an unbelievable signing. There's
a lot of money in that Haaland deal that no one knows about.
Yeah, about the wages and all the bonuses, etc. But you can't say he's not worth it because he's unbelievable.
No, 100%.
But yeah, they've done well. Good manager as well, obviously. Just brilliant. But like I say, they bought well, but again, net profit they're okay because they sell people like Jesus for 40 million, Zinchenko for a similar amount. But they're still net profit wise. They're all right.
50 million.
50 million for Sterling, and he's done nothing at Chelsea. So yeah, no, they still, they don't make a net profit, but they don't, net wise, United are way more. Net wise, Chelsea are way more. I think they said net wise, Arsenal were a bit more. So in the last 3 years,
a lot more.
Yeah,
United,
way more.
United.
Yeah. B or B plus?
I'm putting them as a C plus.
Yeah, I think. Do you expect them to win the league?
No.
No. So therefore, they got top 4.
Do I expect them to finish top 4?
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Did they win?
But
They won the League Cup. They won the League Cup.
Finish top 4.
Yeah, they didn't. So we're putting them a C minus and a D.
Yeah. But they weren't training. So yeah, I mean, it's not amazing.
Yeah, maybe B minus. I just think that they get away with murder. Like the amount of money that club spent last year, like Casemiro. And by the way, this isn't the rating I'd be giving Ten Hag. I'd be giving Ten Hag a much higher rating.
Yeah,
higher rating. I think he's outperformed what Man United have. Because he's dealt with so much rubbish, Ronaldo situation. So so I really, really, really think that they have excelled. He's excelled, but they've just done what they should be doing, which is top 4.
Yeah,
minimum
I agree.
requirement.
They're an annoying one because they haven't done that well, but they just grinded out results and they just got the job done, didn't they? Like, we beat them home and away this year, and we should have beaten them. I was at Wembley. We should have beaten them at Wembley. So, like, they didn't play that well. So, yeah,
and they lost 7-0. And they lost 7-0.
But they still got top 4. Like, it's just they just got the job done. So, that's about it really. I think they'll come top 4 next year. So I think it has to be, just quickly going off tangent here a little bit. I would have as of right now, I'd have City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Man U, top 4. Not in any order, not in that order, but those 4. Can't see anything other than those 4. Maybe Chelsea, but I'd have Chelsea more 5th.
Yeah. Forest.
That's an interesting one. Mostly successful, but they did sign a hideous amount of players and threw a lot of money at it. So B minus.
Yeah.
Something like that. I think Forest fans mostly are happy. Obviously, they stayed in the league, which is massive. From where they were, by the way, we all thought they were going to go down. So another
I've got them as an A minus.
Managers up there.
Oh, so far up there. By the way,
I think it's such a good
kudos to the club that
Yeah,
they
I was
didn't get
going to
rid
say
of him.
that. It's such a rare thing these days to keep faith in a manager. They kept faith in the manager. Everyone was like, "Well, there's rumours of sacking him, and they've gone the other way. And they're giving him a new contract." I was like, "What?" They stuck with him, and fair play. It paid off.
Definitely.
So
Definitely.
that's about it, really. They spent a lot of money, but like I say, in the end, it paid off. Interesting summer for them as well. They're going to have to get rid of some of this dead wood. They've started already. Lingard's been released, etc. So
Newcastle. A, and very close to an A plus for me.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah, would I go A plus? Would I go A plus? Yeah, I'm with you. A or A plus.
It's knocking on that door of A plus, and it's so close. They would have won that League Cup, 100%.
Yeah, then it's A plus. Yeah, I agree.
But it's So fair play. Love Eddie Howe. Love what
most people have them coming 7th or 8th.
Yeah.
You mentioned Eddie Howe. He's up there in the manager of the year conversation. Unbelievable job.
Love what they're doing. Love it.
You're a Newcastle fan. You're absolutely buzzing.
Yeah. Southampton, F.
Has to be at least, or you.
Failed, yeah.
Mate, they've spent a sneaky amount of money. Well,
yeah, you. I'm on board with that.
They spent a sneaky amount of money, and they were terrible. And arguably, I've got a couple of mates that are Saints fans, and at the time they were like, "Yeah, we've got such a young team; it's so exciting." But what they did differently to us is it was pretty much all youth. We had youth plus Dunk plus Veltman plus key players, experienced players as well as youth. They just had all youth, and they signed everyone that was 19. Like your Lavia, I get it, is good, but it didn't keep you in the league. And they just went too young. Edozie, Lavia. They took wild.
Can't win nothing with kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't win nothing
wild
with kids.
Punts. They took loads of punts with strikers that didn't work. Sulemana and whoever else, Inachu and whoever else they got. Spent poorly. Some good players. I'd be interested in a few of them.
Of which Lavia,
Ward-Prowse.
Yeah.
Prowse, I'd love him.
My next U is Spurs.
Yeah, it's an F or a U, isn't it? It has to be. No Europe from where they were. It's shocking.
I think you have one of the best players in the league in Harry Kane, and you still manage to achieve next to nothing.
Absolutely nothing, really, isn't it?
It's a U. For me, it's a U.
No Europe and no trophies is nothing,
and not even a sniff as well.
No.
The most say you're a season ticket holder at Spurs. By the way, what do you go to the game for?
Well, but Conte said it when he left. He's like, the club's a mess.
What do you go for the game? What do you do to see your mates?
Yeah,
just go to the pub.
Yeah, they're in a bad way. They spent all this money on the stadium. They haven't really bought well. Levy just doesn't know. He's just crazy. Doesn't know what he's doing. Conte was good, but they ended up sacking him. He had a fallout because of the way he was treated. They spent all this money on players like Richarlison. Yeah, just
rinse and repeat. Rubbish. You.
And again, I don't see them coming top 4 next year. I really don't.
I think they're miles away. I think Newcastle have overtaken them in the top
Newcastle. 6. I didn't mention Newcastle for top 4. Yeah, should be Newcastle and Chelsea top 6 now. Yeah, I agree. But it's going to get harder just quickly on us. It's going to get hard for us. I do think 6th was an incredible season. I think we only realise how incredible when I think we're going to look back and go, do you remember when Brighton came 6th? So I'd have us 10th. You've got the top 6 there. We're probably quite close to Spurs. Villa are going to improve. Newcastle are going to improve. So it's going to be so hard to come 6th again next year. So hard.
Yeah. West Ham. I think they've got the biggest week in their history.
That depends
this
on
week.
Wednesday, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Wednesday?
Biggest week. Yeah, biggest week in their
If they win
history.
on Wednesday, I'm going to go big here. I'm going to go A.
Yeah, but I'm on board.
Because
I think
a European trophy and Europa League football next year, group stage, pot one.
Yeah.
Good season.
Yeah.
If they
I'm on
don't
board
win
with
it, and they don't qualify for Europe, then it's just such a huge game for them. I would go literally. This is the difference between A and D.
C minus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's either a European trophy and Europa League football, or it's neither.
Yeah. I'm on board with that.
So it's
I'm on
a
board.
huge game for them.
Wolves, the most boring team in the league.
Terrible season. Oh, terrible, mate. I tell you what, on form, they were getting dragged.
Are the most boring team I have ever seen.
Always sign Portuguese players.
I just don't. I don't know what they stand for.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know what they are.
I don't know what Wolves are at the moment.
Yeah, same.
I feel like I can see what West Ham are trying to do. I can see what Palace are trying to do. I could see where Leicester were coming. They were really trying to penny pinch. Penny pinch. I can see what Fulham are doing. Wolves, I almost feel by this way, I'd actually probably prefer to, Southampton went down trying to really give youth a go.
Yeah.
And
they didn't really do anything like that. Yeah.
What did they do?
I agree. I think they've been on the beach for weeks. That's what I would say. Because they knew they were going to stay up anyway. I think if the season had gone on for another 8 weeks, they'd have been close to getting relegated. Their form is shocking.
Yeah,
shocking.
I
got trounced
think
by a few sides, including
I
us.
just think they're the most.
We beat them 6-0.
They're the most boring team.
We beat them 6-0. They were garbage. Arsenal absolutely pasted them. So be interesting to see what they do next year. I agree with you. I don't get what they are.
No. Yeah. My God, I would love to be a Brentford fan, and I would hate to be a Wolves fan.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Yeah, I'd agree with you.
So
yeah. It's still in the Prem, but I understand what you mean.
And that's it, mate. And that's it.
That's our season review. Cool.
That's our season review.
And next week, we're not going to end it just yet, but next week we will be doing our teams of the season each, and we'll have a bit of an awards pod, if you like. So, for example, manager of the season, player of the season, team of the season, underdog of the season, loads of stuff. Goal of the season. So, do a little bit of that, and that'd be good. A couple of other things we're going to quickly touch upon. FA Cup final. City deserve to win it. They're obviously still on for the treble. The handball decision was an absolute shocker.
Hate it, mate. Absolutely.
But what I want to say is, and you'll learn this the more you listen to this pod, I'm very pro VAR, which is quite rare. I think it has a huge place in our game. I think it needs tweaking. I think it needs to improve, but I do think it has a place. And what I think a lot of people get wrong is VAR gets it right, I would say, at least 90% of the time. And we don't remember the ones they get right. We remember the ones they get wrong.
Yeah. And when they get it wrong because it's a human doing it.
Yeah, I love what they did, by the way. Did you see the Howard Webb thing where he was on M&F and when they went through it? I would love to see them do that more often and just have it open like they do in rugby. Just have it open and hear what they chat about. But the key mistake they made, and I really hope Howard Webb comes out and says it was a mistake, because it was. The problem is, it's the rule.
It's the rule that's wrong.
The rule is wrong. And like I say, VAR's just an easy target. So the rule's wrong.
By the way, there will be lots of clubs who will be going down the byline. If you're a winger, fullback, going down the byline,
100%.
aiming aiming
for a
for
hand.
someone's hand.
That's wrong. And that should tell you straight away that the rule's bad.
And the thing is I don't think it happened, but Mane against Tottenham Champions League final, it was very close to doing that. Like,
and I think Mane tried to kick it at his hand.
Yeah, and I think that it was, and I think I've mentioned it before. I almost think that a penalty is too much of an upside.
Yeah,
it's too much of a punishment for something that is quite menial, as in it menially happened he's not through on goal, he's not being chopped down through on goal. So I really think that just, I don't know whether there
there's
can
just
be
loads of reasons why I hated it. Like, firstly, it was point blank, so they talk a lot about distance. There was no distance between the players at all. Grealish has got his back turned. Where's he meant to put his arms? Because he's jumping.
Yeah.
They're not even out like this. They're kind of like here, which is kind of normal for jumping. It hasn't even really hit his hand that much. It's flicked his fingers on the way through. There was 3 or 4 reasons why I look at that and think, what is that?
And you know what? It would have been great. It would have been really, really, really good if the ref would have just gone, yeah, I've seen it hit his hand, but it's not impacted the game.
They need to do that more. They need to look at the screen and go, actually, I'm going to stick with my decision. And the other thing is, Howard Webb always talks about clear and obvious and minimum intervention. What are they doing getting involved then? If they give that penalty, I can understand. I don't like it, but I understand.
Did you see a couple of weeks ago? I think it was like the second to last game of the season. There was a handball, and it was the player who assisted the player. But basically, if he would have scored it, instead of giving it to his mate, then it would have been a goal. Like, how wrong is that? How so basically, because every footballer knows when it's hit your hand. So like, he's gonna think to himself, it's hit my hand, I need to pass it. I can't shoot. There's no point in me shooting because I can't score in this position. So therefore, I'm going to pass it. It's just terrible. Just terrible.
Such a bad rule.
I think the referees know it, and therefore they need to start using common sense.
The rules need to change, that's for sure.
Yeah. So, and I think it is. I think it is being reviewed. So,
it certainly needs to be.
So I think that will happen. Hopefully, it gets reviewed across the board. Like, I really think that it's terrible how sometimes it's like that's the rule for the Premier League, but this is the Champions League now. So
I hate that.
I hate that.
They give this in the Champions League and they don't give it in the Premier League. Come on, mate. It's football's football. Yeah, terrible. I hate it.
So, speaking of Champions League, it's the weekend. City Inter. Am I relating Inter Milan too much to the Jose Mourinho Inter Milan and think that they're just going to come and park the bus? Like, I don't know enough about how they play to think that that's how they're going to do it.
I don't know much about them. I just can't see how they can stop City. I just can't.
I agree. And do I want Manchester City to win?
The only way City don't win is if they hugely bottle it. It's as simple as that. If they get to another Champions League final, they don't win. The only way they don't win is if they bottle it. If they play well, they win.
Imagine if Pep goes crazy and just changes his formation.
Only way they don't win is something crazy. A wild red card early on. Something crazy to happen. They play their normal, solid performance. I can't see any other result. And again, it's a bit of an occasion thing. It's the one they want. It's the monkey on the shoulder. It's a bit like Rory at the Masters. It's that kind of, it's the bugbear, isn't it? That's the only thing. But I have enough if they can handle the occasion, which I think they will. Briefly, other sports. I just want to quickly mention golf. With golfers, it's going to play a huge part of it. The Memorial's literally just finishing, actually. And
has Rory bottled it?
Yeah, big time. Big time.
I heard that he was bottling it.
Yeah.
He was in the process.
Well, I think he finished about 2 or 3 under, and more of a bottling is McCarthy. McCarthy had a 1-shot lead going up the last, and he's got a 20-footer for bogey for a playoff. He's hit it in the drink. He's dropped. He's hacked it down the fairway. He's now on the green, I believe, in 4. He's literally putting now for a bogey, which would be a playoff with Hovland. If he misses, Hovland wins. So
Hovland wins. Wow. The only way he wins when other people bottle it, right?
Yeah, I know. He is a good player though. Like he was close, wasn't he, in the PJ until the bunker shot. So
he's missed it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was for bogey. He's in the water. He dropped it, hacked it down the fairway on the green in 4. Yeah, so that's probably a 6. But I mean, it's gone. Wow, it's gone a good 4 foot by.
I know he's raced it past as well. So yeah.
Speaking of bottling, that didn't look pretty. So that should be Hovland's by the looks of it. Other than that, yeah, Brooks obviously won the last major of the PGA. Just it's good to have him back. Knows how to win a major. There's not many golfers that have won 5 majors, so he's in an elite club now. Fair play to him. I think he'll win a couple more probably. Just knows how to win.
Yeah.
Denny McCarthy's got that one coming back for a playoff. So he must have made it onto the green from where he dropped it.
Wow. But I mean, ultimately we've got US Open to look forward to.
Yeah,
a couple of weeks time.
Yeah, it's not far off. So that'd be good.
Yeah. I really like the way that they do like one major per month, like April, May, June, and July. I think that's really, really, really good, and I think that other sports could potentially learn from that if you were to do it. And obviously, my interest is some fight sport stuff. Boxing's gone a tiny bit quiet in the past couple of weeks. We had a massive fight, Davin Haney and Lomachenko. So that was what happened previously, and then UFC is just going to go absolutely berserk in a couple of weeks' time. You've just got UFC numbered cards after numbered cards.
When's McGregor?
It's not been agreed, Chandler. It's not been agreed yet. So UFC kind of everyone. I think this prediction is that it's going to be UFC in December in New York.
Yeah.
This is the 30th anniversary year, so 30 years of UFC, and that's potentially going to be that card. And that would be because they need a knockout card for the 30 years. So that's going to be a big one. And then UFC 300 is going to be around about January, February time. Depends how many they fit in the meantime. So there's going to be a massive card then for that as well. So there's massive fights coming up in the next couple of weeks. So that's definitely something that I want to be touching upon.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. The Holder one coming back, so it's a playoff. So
playoff.
Hovland McCarthy playoff should be quite interesting. He had a good 5 foot coming back there as well.
He did. Knocked it in quite well.
Yeah. So that's it. Yeah. Good. Gone through the season. Talked briefly about other sports. Look, we're going to do other sports more when things creep up, right? We're going to start talking about the Ashes a lot more. We're going to talk a bit about the Rugby World Cup when it comes on. We're going to talk about stuff that's relevant at the time. It's just at the moment, there's a lot of sports that are just a bit quiet. F1, I enjoy F1, but it's very, very boring at the moment because Verstappen's just winning every week. So there's just a lot of sports.
I'd be very surprised if we talk about F1 for the next 12
I know, which is a bit of a shame. But even tennis, we both quite like our tennis. French Open's been a bit dull so far. Yeah. I feel like it's in a bit of a changing era, tennis, with Federer and Nadal gone. Nadal's pretty much gone. Murray's always injured. So I just feel like it's a bit of a changing of the guard there. I haven't been that interested in the French Open. I'll probably watch the final, especially if it's Nadal, Alcaraz. I might watch it. No, I mean Alcaraz, Djokovic, sorry. But other than that, not that interested really at the moment, sadly. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think I'll mention Djokovic, or should I say Voldemort's name. I just dislike
Novak Djokovic, yeah.
But
yeah, good, super. Quick bit of admin. If you could please, we've got an Instagram page, elite_sports debate. And the YouTube link is on there. We're going to be uploading these videos to YouTube. And that is YouTube at Elite Sports Debate. And if you could subscribe to that, be much appreciated. That's how we grow this channel. So that'd be much appreciated. And yeah, we're going to put loads and loads of stuff on the Instagram page. You know, all of our stuff like Team of the Year, our Team of the Season next week's episode. When we do Team of the Season, we're going to have that on the page. We're going to have loads and loads of stuff on there. So yes, next week's one to look forward to. We're going to give a few awards out on our year. And then, yeah, going forward, there's obviously loads to talk about. So we'll start looking forward to next season, hopefully soon. And Champions League final we're going to talk about next time. And good luck to West Ham as well. I'm actually
good luck more to West Ham than good luck to City. It feels weird.
I'm always an England club supporter, to be honest.
Yeah, same. I am.
Cool, brilliant. That's about it. Thank you very much for listening, everyone, and we'll catch you next week.